I am 105 years old, and every morning when I open my eyes, I still expect silence. But instead I hear birds, distant traffic, sometimes laughter from people young enough to be my great-grandchildren. Doctors call it remarkable. Strangers call it luck. But luck doesn't wake up with you every day for a century. Habits do, and if there is one habit that kept my heart beating strong while friends, siblings, even my own children slowly faded away, it is what I chose to drink every single day. Long before the world became obsessed with pills, powders, and promises in plastic bottles, I did not follow trends. I followed what my grandmother called living liquids, drinks that nourish, calm, and quietly repair you while the world rushes past. People think longevity comes from something dramatic, a miracle drug, a secret surgery, a genetic lottery ticket. But the truth is more uncomfortable because it is so simple. Most long lives are built from small things repeated thousands of times. In my case, for a humble drinks carried me through wars, grief, sleepless nights, celebrations, heartbreak, and joy. They kept my blood calm, my mind clear, and my heart surprisingly young. The first drink is something many people dismiss as too ordinary to matter: warm water, slowly sipped before anything else touches the lips. Not iced, not flavored, not rushed, just warm water. When I was a child, my grandmother would hand me a small cup at dawn and say, "Wake your organs gently, the way you would wake a baby." At the time it sounded poetic and unnecessary. But now I understand. After hours of sleep, your body is dry, thick, sluggish. Blood moves slower. The heart works harder. That simple warmth tells the body, you are safe, you may begin. Even at 105, I can feel the difference on the rare mornings I forget. My chest feels tight, my head heavy, my mood strangely brittle. Warm water is not exciting, which is exactly why it works. It restores without shocking, supports without demanding. Most people look for stimulation first thing in the morning. I learned to look for stability. The second drink came from a time when medicine was scarce and kitchens were pharmacies. It is a simple infusion of ginger and a touch of lemon. Nothing fancy, nothing powdered, nothing bought in shiny packaging, fresh slices, hot water, patience. During difficult years when food was rationed and stress was constant, this drink was our protection. Ginger warms the body from the inside, not like coffee's nervous heat, but like a steady fire in a hearth. Lemon brightens the blood, sharpens the senses, wakes the appetite for life itself. I did not know the science then. I only knew that the elders who drank it could walk farther, breathe easier, recover faster from winter illnesses, and laugh louder. My husband used to say it felt like oil for rusty hinges, and perhaps that is exactly what it is, a quiet lubrication for systems that otherwise grind themselves down. The third drink is the one that surprises people most, because it goes against modern thinking, that everything must be intense to be effective. It is simply green tea, but not the bitter, oversteeped kind people choke down for discipline points. Light, fragrant, almost gentle. I began drinking it in my 40s, a time when grief had carved deep lines into my life and stress had begun to tighten my chest in unfamiliar ways. A traveling friend brought tea leaves as a gift, and I kept the habit. Over decades, it became my afternoon reset, not a jolt, not an escape, but a pause. I would sit, breathe, hold the warm cup in both hands, and allow my body to remember calm. People underestimate how much the heart suffers from constant urgency. A peaceful ritual is not laziness, it is maintenance. Many storms passed through my life, but this small daily stillness prevented them from taking permanent residence inside me. The fourth drink is the one I believe saved not just my heart, but my spirit. Before bed, I drink a simple cup of warm milk with a pinch of turmeric and sometimes a thread of honey. When I was young, this was considered a comfort for children. As I aged, I realized it is a shield for adults. Night is when the body repairs, when memories settle, when the heart slows enough to heal tiny damages accumulated during the day. If you go to sleep wired, anxious, or inflamed, the repair work is poor. This drink tells the body the day is finished, danger has passed. You may restore yourself now. Even during years of loss when sleep felt impossible, this ritual softened the edges of grief enough to allow rest to come. And rest, more than any miracle supplement, is the true architect of longevity. Notice something important: none of these drinks are extreme, none promise instant transformation, none require wealth, special access, or complicated instructions. That is precisely why they endure. Our ancestors did not survive for millennia using fragile systems that collapse if a shipment is delayed. They relied on what was stable, repeatable, forgiving. Modern culture worships intensity, stronger coffee, harsher workouts, faster results. But the body thrives on consistency, not punishment. People often ask me what I avoided, expecting a list of forbidden pleasures. The truth is, I did not live a life of rigid denial. I celebrated, I indulged, I made mistakes, I endured long periods of stress that no wellness program would recommend, but these 4 daily anchors kept pulling me back toward balance. Think of them not as cures, but as course corrections, gentle nudges toward health repeated over tens of thousands of days. There is also something deeper at work, something science is only beginning to admit: ritual itself heals. When you perform the same nourishing act every day, you create a signal of safety. Your nervous system stops bracing for chaos. Your heart, which responds not only to physical strain, but emotional turbulence, beats with less desperation. Longevity is not merely about adding years. It is about reducing the wear and tear those years inflict. At 105, I have watched generations chase shortcuts. First it was miracle tonics, then vitamin megadoses, then complicated biohacking devices. Each wave arrives with excitement and leaves with disappointment. Meanwhile, the quiet habits, hydration, warmth, calm, sleep, continue doing their invisible work. Boring things, done faithfully, produce extraordinary outcomes. Exciting things, done briefly, produce stories, not longevity. If you take nothing else from my long life, take this: your heart does not need to be shocked into youthfulness. It needs to be protected from unnecessary strain. Start your day gently, warm your body, give yourself moments of calm, and end the day in a state that invites repair. These 4 drinks simply make that process easier, like placing smooth stones along a difficult path, so your feet don't bleed before the journey's done. I do not know how many mornings I have left. At 105, every sunrise feels like a quiet bonus rather than a guarantee. But I still follow the same sequence: warm water at dawn, ginger and lemon as the day awakens, green tea in the afternoon pause, golden milk before sleep. Not because I am afraid of dying, but because these rituals make living feel steady, humane, and surprisingly gentle, even at an age when most bodies have surrendered to discomfort. Perhaps the greatest secret is not that these drinks kept my heart young, but that they kept me attentive to my own life. Each cup is a small moment of care, a reminder that survival is not the goal, vitality is. And vitality rarely comes from grand gestures. It comes from thousands of quiet choices that say, again and again, I intend to stay. So if you are searching for something powerful, do not overlook what is simple. The extraordinary often hides inside the ordinary, waiting for someone patient enough to repeat it long enough for the results to accumulate. My life, stretched across more than a century, is nothing more than proof of that accumulation. And tomorrow morning, if I am fortunate enough to wake again, I will reach for that same cup of warm water, not as a miracle, not as medicine, but as a humble greeting to another day my heart has decided to continue.